Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the Love Across the Sea podcast, where I give my thoughts and share a little bit of my experience finding love across the sea. Currently, I'm in the K1 visa process with my Filipina fiance, and it's been a what about a 3 year relationship. We started the process K1 process last fall. And so far, I guess it's going well. Just want to share my thoughts and a little bit of my journey here. Today, I'm going to talk about, I call it the international dating revolution. Okay. In the past, the only American people, men that would actually date women from other countries, marry women from other countries, are either going to be, mostly they're military. I would say up to the even as few as 7 years ago, 5 years ago, it was mostly military guys, older expat type guys, and that's who was dating women, marrying women from overseas. It was quite common. See a military guy stationed somewhere, he meet a woman, they hook up, get married, bring her back, or he lived there, or a guy retired to a country, meet the women there, date those women. So for a long time, international dating was dominated by military guys or expat type dudes. What's changed now with the improved technology, you got streaming now, you can video chat anyone. It cuts that distance down, it cuts those barriers down. Travel's getting out there, more popularized now. There's a show, 90 Day Fiance. Everybody's seen that. I mean, look at that show. It's a lot of people in their 30s and 20s, marrying people from other countries now. In the past, this was not the case at all. People would always, usually stick with someone local. But the question is, why is this? Why is this international dating revolution occurring? I like to say it's part of a evolutionary process, okay? In the past, you would know people in your village. Then again, people in your city. Then you might get with people in your metro area. Then people in your state. And then maybe someone out of state, Internet dating, online dating has given people access to potential partners, mates that they would never have encountered before. It opens up the whole wide world to love, potentially love and other things. Myself, I think I first discovered online dating. It was a long time ago. It was 2003, and back then it was you would go into Yahoo chat rooms. It was crazy. I mean, this was back in the day where the internet was all about chat rooms, And you would go into chat rooms, talk to someone, hope it's a real woman. It might be a dude, you never knew. But that was part of like the fun. You never knew what you're going to get, really. And you might meet up with that, exchange numbers, talk to that person on the phone, meet up with that person. But that's how it first started. And it would usually be someone, my city, and over the years I saw that, yay, it's pretty easy to date online. Well, time-wise, it's better because every weekend you would try to, get ready, go out, meet somebody, or you got a girl you're crushing on or you're talking to, you try to meet up with her, go somewhere, but in a way I realized that that's not the use of time is inefficient. And in one night, I could spend whining and dining this girl, right? Maybe something comes, or maybe not, I don't know. But one night I can do that. One girl. Well, if I stay home, I can save some money. I can save me some money, and plus then I can talk to 20 girls. I say, hey, when it comes to the effort versus time, online is where it's at. So I would occasionally still, I would meet a woman at work or somewhere, or a friend of a friend. I would have dates occasionally that way, but mostly I would date women online. And I did that, from 2003, you know, until I got my fiance. Basically, that's what I did. I dated women online, and it's worked well for me. And at first, yeah, women in my city, then it came to women, in the States somewhere, then women a little farther out, you know. And I really didn't like the long distance thing, so I went back to, just my city, my local surroundings. I went to that I did that for a while, but you run into a problem there because people sometimes see, to me, cultures are a very, very local thing. I mean, you could say a culture in one part of the city or one city, one region, it's going to be different from another region. We really don't have national cultures here. I mean, we might share some aspects, but the culture is going to vary, and depending on how many people in your city, it could actually vary from neighborhood to neighborhood. The culture does. It really is like that. And sometimes that's a good thing, but some traits in the culture might be negative or might be something you're not too into or something you're not looking for when it comes to a potential mate. And I found that in my culture, in my area, the big thing for me was drug use. A lot of women that were still single, they smoke weed. I mean, if you want to smoke weed, go ahead, but you might be an okay person. Most people that smoke weed are okay people, but the thing is, I'm anti-drug. I don't do drugs whatsoever. Okay, so that's not gonna much well. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do drugs. Drink a few times a month. That's it. A couple of beers here and there. That's all I do. I don't really do much substances. So it was hard to find. It actually was hard to find a woman that fit that criteria. And she also wasn't, there's women that do fit that criteria, don't do anything, but they're going to be super into religion. Okay, they're going to be super into some religion. And I'm not a religious guy. I got my beliefs, my spiritual beliefs, but I'm not a religious guy. I think, there's multiple paths. You find the path that works for you. You walk that path. Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't care what God you pray to or how you pray to your God. That's how I see the world. But someone, I ran into this also too. You find a woman that's pretty straight laced, but she's super into whatever religion it is or what sect it is of that religion. She's trying to convert you, and she's all about that. And me, I find that a person like that is, I don't like people that are not flexible, and to me that's one dimensional. You're all about your religion. You're all about your community. You're all about your race. You're all about your job. To me, those people are one dimensional, and I'm not interested in a one dimensional mate. Yeah, not interested at all in a mate that's in any way, shape, or form one dimensional. Because I'm not one dimensional. And I saw that it was hard to find someone that I'm limiting myself. Okay, so I got to find a woman in my area that's not one dimensional, that is attracted to me, that wants to date me, that wants to have a family, that wants to do this, that. I mean, to me, that narrows your odds. It narrows down your scope. That's not a good thing. You want the maximum amount of options as possible. And so to expand your options, it's only natural to look at a bigger pool. Okay, look at a bigger pool, you have more chance to find whatever you're looking for. And to me, that's worked. And I would say it was a natural progression to go from city, state, region. I got to talk to some girls in New Mexico and stuff, but that didn't work out too well. I don't know why. But and then other country, it just happened by accident. I just happened across that, and it's like, oh, I saw how women in the Philippines were, attractive. I saw they were attractive. I knew some Filipinos locally, And oh, they're cool people, but I never thought about actually getting with one. You know, I've always thought, women of other places were attractive, but I never thought about having a match of one because I don't know. I didn't see culture-wise it would ever work out. I thought that might be an obstacle, and plus, it's just not there wasn't any available. There wasn't many available, so you got like a sprinkle of a sprinkle of a sprinkle of like Filipino women in my location. And so it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't, I never thought about that, but I thought they were okay people. You know, Asian women in general, yeah, I thought they were attractive, but it came down again like, whoa, there weren't really any available. And you see them, they're usually married or hooked up or something, and it just wasn't seem like something I would want to pursue for a relationship ever. But I think first it was she came across a Vietnamese woman. She was okay. And I was planning a trip anyway to Asia. And so, okay, I might as well stop by there. And that opened my eyes a little bit. It's like, hey, language and culture, those things can actually be, you can get around language and culture, really. It's strange how you can communicate with a person, have deep interactions with a person, and you're not of the same culture, not of the same language, different countries. You see there's less boundaries than you imagine. I mean, most of the boundaries are boundaries that were in your head, that you see, that society or other people told you are there. When really, nah, it's just two people. You got different languages from different places, but you're just two people. You're just a man and a woman. You break it down to a man and a woman. And that really opened up the whole world of literally the whole world of dating. And I think I'm not the only person that's seen this. I'm not the only guy that's come across this. I'm not the only person. There's women too that are starting to get it. I think women are a little more cautious because women have to be pickier in a way about what they jump into. Men can kind of jump in there and see what happens. Women have to kind of ease into situations because there's always the woman in the end. She's the one that is going to have the baby. If something were to happen, she might have a baby with this guy. So she got to be careful. Like, okay, do I want a baby with this guy? Unless she's 100% sure that she is not going to have a child with this guy. But if she has in her head one little bit, like, oh, I might want to have a baby, she needs to be she's going to be very cautious about who she hooks up with. And that's how women should do. Men, we kind of jump in there and see what happens. We got a little more leeway. But the younger people, the people maybe less affluent, I'm just a working class guy. Yeah, you see more working class people in international relationships. That's a new phenomenon. Before, maybe, like I said, military, expat dudes, they got their incomes a little higher for the most part. Now you have just average Joes, people off the regular working class people able to interact with women from across the sea. Working class women interacting with men across the sea. Older women, younger women, older men, younger men, just anybody. If you got a little, I think I've seen a common thing, and they have to have a sense of adventure. You have a sense of adventure. You're interested in other places. Maybe your local locality, community is not offering what you want. You want to try somewhere else. Okay, give it a shot. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But that explains the international dating revolution that I've seen happening over the past couple of years. Okay, that's it for this little installment. More to come. Like it, share it, all of that.